It is Thursday, January 29th. It is time to get in the weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3. SP3, I'm still working hurt. My old bones can just not take it anymore. I woke up, my arm's sore, my back's still sore. I have a heating pad on my neck there. My neck is sore. My neck, my back, my arm. How's that song go?
My neck, my back, my neck and my back. No, it goes my neck, my back, and my crack.
Yeah, my pussy, right? My pussy
I
and my
wasn't gonna
crack.
say I wanted y'all to keep some money for the early minutes, but yeah.
Now we can say this stuff like early now, so it's fine. You know I'm gonna say stuff, you know? You know
I
what I
know,
mean?
I know.
Like
I do a podcast with Chrissy Love. You're actually more tame than her.
yeah. The snow shoveling is not for the weak, man. It's not for the weak. And I'm very weak, so I can't
So you shouldn't be doing that.
I know, right? I shouldn't, but someone has to. I don't want my wife to do it, and the kids don't want to do it. I gotta like pay them. I don't feel like paying them to do it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no,
that's
I
my
get it.
money. Yeah. How are you, buddy?
I am doing well. Glad to be here on another Thursday. We got a busy show on tap for all of you great people and not so great people. We got to talk about last night's AEW Dynamite. I feel one of the better additions of any wrestling TV show I've seen this year, where they actually were focused for once and not just great matches for great matching's sake. They actually had some good stories going on, especially the bigger stuff on the show, the more noteworthy stuff on the show. Like we're going to talk about Tommaso Ciampa making his AEW debut and the potential of him becoming a champion in his first match in the promotion this coming Saturday on Collision. We got to talk about Swerve Strickland and Andrade in an excellent main event and what the result means for the AEW World Championship Contender Series. I saw it was, what does it say in the description? Convoluted or confusing? I'm not confused. I get it. Samoa Joe got hurt, so you couldn't do another qualifying match for Hangman. So Hangman's just gonna get a free pass to the number one contender.
Does he get a free pass?
Yeah,
Does he?
that's how I understood it. He gets a free pass because Samoa Joe's not hurt. Because
Okay,
Samoa Joe's hurt.
Why does why does Kenny have to face Andrade and
Because Kenny Omega spent 6 months not having singles matches, so he needs to win one more before he gets a number one contenders match. Whereas Hangman Adam Page has been one of the most winning wrestlers of 2025, so he just needed 2 wins to qualify for the number one contender series. Now to explain, you can change the description, but we're gonna talk about
Brody just gets an eliminator match.
Well, because MJF says he needs to beat elite talents. There's no more elite talent than MJF. Explain. See, I can explain all this stuff. I mean, Tony Khan needs to hire me for just explaining something.
He should, because Tony Schiavone certainly didn't do a good job of it.
We're going to establish this is the second Thursday in a row we are just going to crap and slander Tony Schiavone. He is objectively what in a world that includes Pat McAfee and Booker T as announcers, Tony Schiavone might be the worst active announcer in all of wrestling. That's why he cannot be allowed to be explaining this type of stuff. Should have been Renee in the way. Anyway, I explained all of that. I explained the logic. We're going to talk about AEW Dynamite and everything that went down. Unfortunate injury on the show for Jake Doyle. We'll talk about the lineup for Collision as well. And of course, we got a big interview with Court Bauer on the eve or on hours before Battle Riot. We're going to talk to him about the big show tonight for MLW and much, much more.
All of those things are true. Guys, leave a thumbs up on the video. There we go. There's the fireworks. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. And I would say enter the ITW Rumble, but there are no more spots. AEW King has claimed the last spot, in the ITW Rumble. The last paid spot, I should say, because thanks to Lab Glass, Ryan Sullivan, and C. Delgado, there are 3 free spots available. To earn one of the free spots, you got to be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's show, all throughout the day, if you would like to be in, you can enter for a free, and then we will randomly draw 3 of the names who have entered for free, and you will get one of the 3 free spots. And then we will draw the numbers as well, so we can get the ITW Rumble. And then the winners, if your number wins, you'll get a gift from us here at In the Weeds. But all the spots are taken. SP3 didn't even take 3 full days to take them all up. You know,
people are thriving to be a part of the ITW Rumble, and now we got to be like Adam Pearce. It's full. It's full.
Except it's legitimately full. You can't FaceTime. You can't FaceTime and to bust it open and be like, I want to declare for the ITW Rumble. No, we're legitimately full operation here.
Dude, they had 2 people declare via video package, and then Brock Lesnar says, hold my beer. It says, I'm going to declare via FaceTime. FaceTime! What happened to the game I love? What happened?
I don't mind like the declaring of the FaceTime and the video package, like whatever. It is very stupid that they're like, yeah, Finn, you can't declare because we're full, and then Brock could just come in and be like, yeah, I'm declaring for the Rumble, even though
Miz
said on Monday was full.
Miz said he wants to declare, but he hasn't declared yet.
Which is also stupid. Yeah. Just declare. Why would you delay declaring? Like, I want to declare, but I haven't done it yet. Like, why? What is the holdup here? I'm going to wait my turn. It's a random draw. It's not like you're waiting. I'm going to declare at the 30th spot. That means I get number. No, that doesn't work at all like that. Like, it's a random drawing. You know, if Miz clearly wasn't clued in, if he would have been like, oh yeah, I was told it was full, I missed my spot, hopefully, you know, I'm one of the random people that are just in there, like, fine. But they screwed all of that up. But they haven't cared about this Rumble, man. Remember when they used to do like stories for the Rumble, and it's like, oh, you win this match and you get number 30, or you lose this match and you get number 1, and all that stuff. Like, they used to like do stuff for the Rumble. Now, like, they didn't acknowledge it for like 2 weeks until 2 weeks before. Roman's so bored of it, he's like, make a video, dorks in the truck. That's what we're doing here. That's it.
It's funny you mentioned that, because like I was talking about that on True Hill Heat, and I was like, why couldn't like Jacob Fatu versus Cody, if it was actually going to happen, it should have been, the stipulation should have been the winner gets number 30, the loser gets number 1. I miss those where the person would get number 30 and then one person would get number 1. I miss those type of stories that we used to have. They used to do that a lot going into the Royal Rumble. Even last year's Royal Rumble had some stories going in. John Cena looking to get number 17 before he retires. Roman Reigns trying to get his spot back on top. CM Punk trying to win his first Royal Rumble and potentially face Cody at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn trying to win the World Heavyweight Championship, being in the Royal Rumble. Jey Uso losing to Gunther and then having to enter the Royal Rumble to rebound and get his rematch. Like, there was stories going on going into the Royal Rumble. This year they just said, oh, 2 weeks. Let's start acting like it actually. But to be fair, I always like to give WWE the benefit of the doubt. Stephanie McMahon at Saturday night's main event, she specifically told us that tonight starts the road to WrestleMania, to Royal Rumble. So I was like, oh, that makes sense why y'all just started booking it this week, because the road didn't start until Saturday night's main event. It started 1 week before.
The only story is Drew said Cody doesn't have a rematch, and so Cody has to work his way back up. So Cody's entering the Rumble. Like, they haven't even acknowledged like the champions. And then they added the Finn stuff this week of like Finn once in the Rumble, he was told he couldn't, and so okay, he's gonna attack Finn Balor. But you mentioned it last year of Punk, the Punk and Cody segment, Seth, Roman, Cena, all these guys like recognizing who the champion is and the championship and wanting the main event. This year, like, no one's been like, yeah, I want to face CM Punk. I want to face Drew McIntyre and get the title. Even on the women's side, it hasn't been like, I want to face Stephanie. I want to face Jade and get the title. It's just like, yeah, I declare out here. Raquel's getting her title shot just doing attacks. What's she got to be in the Rumble for?
That didn't make any sense. I was like, that's like the Money in the Bank holder being in Royal Rumble. Like, you want to stack up title matches, like just in case I lose on Monday, I need to win the Royal Rumble to have basically a fallout plan, a plan B. So stupid.
We'll talk more about the Rumble tomorrow because God knows we ain't talking about no TNA. I refuse to talk about TNA.
We do have to talk about the Royal Rumble surprises report Sean did going into Saturday's show. So yeah. It is in the description. I read the description just in case. Even though I like midway through the show after we talk like NBA for a bit, I forget everything that we were supposed to talk about. But and especially when we have an interview as well, I'm gonna forget.
It's Rumble surprises that also Triple H is hyping it as we got a lot of surprises. This is what we do, and it's gonna be the biggest Rumble of all time. I like how people.
It's going to be a new era, ladies and gentlemen.
I like how people are like they run with that stuff and like it gets it hype and everything. Like he's doing what he's supposed to do. I don't begrudge Triple H for like saying this stuff, mind you, but if you can't deliver on it, you also look kind of stupid, and that's where it's like, okay, you got to actually have some surprises. Like if you just have your normal people and I don't know who's a surprise that like would make some sense but isn't like Road Dogg comes out. Like that's one of your surprises. Like that ain't exactly. I mean, he'll get a pop, especially in Saudi. The king's gonna be like, oh, the prince. Like, yeah, 90s people. Like if that's your surprise, that ain't like really doing anything. Like if you're gonna say we have surprises and the biggest Rumble of all time, like you got to deliver to an extent on that. But I don't begrudge him saying like, yeah, we got surprises as big as like you're supposed to. You're a promoter. Every promoter does this. Dana White does this with every UFC card. We're gonna have a great night of fights. It's gonna be such, a lot of action nonstop. Tony Khan does every show's the greatest or the most tremendous and everything. Like, I get it, but then you actually gotta like deliver on some of this stuff. Remember when he was like, "Oh, it's a new era" and stuff, and WrestlePalooza.
Which time?
He does that after like every show. Yeah, like
this is the start of a new era.
Like WrestlePalooza, he hyped his like surprises and like, oh, we have like stuff up our sleeve, and then the biggest thing was like, oh, Stephanie's going into the Hall of Fame. It's like, wait, was that your big like announcement and surprise? That doesn't quite hit there, buddy. That doesn't really do anything for us. So people get mad at him about that. And like, if you're gonna say these things, you got to deliver to an extent. And if you can't, shut the fuck up.
Shout outs to WrestlePalooza, who won the Heedy Award for the worst pay-per-view of the year for 2025. Yeah. It was a close race with the Survivor Series.
Okay. I'm trying to think of like, I don't remember half of these shows.
I think Survivor Series was worse because I always like to go by match, like squaring off. I don't think there was any match on Survivor Series as good as Stephanie Vicaire versus Io Sky from WrestlePalooza. Yeah, and I don't even think the best match on Survivor Series was as good as the mixed tag team matchup between CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I think that was better than any match on Survivor Series. Survivor Series was the biggest letdown for me. That's what got my vote. I voted for that for worst pay-per-view of the year.
I remember. I mean, I don't remember, but I do remember. I think part of it, I don't know how your fan base is voting. I don't remember what I voted for either. I probably did vote for WrestlePalooza, honestly. I think part of it is, the hype of everything. Like Survivor Series, you saw the card and you're like, like it didn't even look like the greatest card in the world on paper. Like some of it was a little thrown together. You kind of knew what you were getting out of the War Games matches because they're sort of the same every year.
But nah, the War Games matches were star-studded, and
they were
the last couple of, like the first 3 years of Survivor Series War Games, the men's one in 2022 with the Bloodline and all the drama with Sammy finally proving himself to the Bloodline against KO and stuff, that was great. 2023 with Orton coming back and the baby faces from Raw beating Judgment Day and then CM Punk returning was great as well. The Bloodline Civil War in 2024 delivered as well, and then this one had Brock, Roman, Punk, Rhodes, Roman, like you had all these stars in the matchup, and it was a complete letdown. That's why I gave that my vote.
It was star-studded, but like how it came together was to me.
The angle from Madison Square Garden was awesome.
It was star-studded, but how part of it came together was to me. And again, like a lot of it just feels the same on that. And we talked about this going into it. Like you looked at the groups and it's like, well, Punk ain't taking no big bumps. Brock ain't taking no big bump. Roman, Cody, Bronson ain't doing one after last year. Like
Jey Uso ain't doing it.
Yeah, so it's like you don't even have a dude who's gonna like go out there and like really, bounce around and stuff. And that's the problem when you get too much star power, is then it's like, all right, well, who's like doing the work and in this plunder of a match here. We thought Cody might, just because he's like insane and he's Cody, but even Cody is nowadays like, I mean, he did jump off the balcony.
Paul. Yeah, Logan Paul could have done something.
Yeah, Logan Paul would have been the most likely. Yeah, Logan Paul would have been the most likely.
He decided to not do anything. And then the women's one, I thought like the men's one had the star power, but the women's one would be the better matchup. And that was a letdown as well. That was a freaking Royal Rumble match masquerading as a War Games matchup. Like no one's coming down with weapons. There's no type of hatred going on in the matchup. It's just wrestling, heatless wrestling for about 30 minutes. Like that's what it felt like.
You know why WrestlePalooza won, though, is because so many people were upset about the John Cena and Brock stuff. That was the most egregious out of both shows. Yeah. That was the worst match on either show. Yeah, I agree. It was not only the worst match, but like just the booking and the layout of how it was done was like, wait, what? This is what you're doing for this show? And again, when it comes to hype, like Survivor Series, okay, it's Survivor Series. It's, what you're getting out of it. It can, defy those expectations. It can get higher than those expectations, but you generally know what you're going to get. WrestlePalooza, they put so much into that. Oh, we're going to do a show on 3 weeks notice against an AEW. We forced an AEW show to move. It's the first show on ESPN. The friggin' TKO executives are like, we think this can be a WrestleMania level show. Like they hyped the hell out of this thing. AJ Lee's return as well. And I don't think that match was bad or anything, but it added to the hype of the overall show. So I think that one just had higher expectations than Survivor Series 2. And I think that's what made it for a lot of people worse.
That's fair. I do understand that argument for sure. Like, yeah, I said, like, I remember I told you I did a whole round table with the Sports Illustrated staff. Shout outs to, John Alba, Blake, and Rick Ucchino. And they were trying to make the argument that John Cena could have been Wrestler of the Year as the second half of his run was so great. And I was like, it had some great matches, but there was a big giant Brock Lesnar turd in my soup. I'm sorry. Like that was egregious. Like I cannot seriously look at you and take you seriously if you're telling me the second half of John Cena's retirement tour was great and you're just going to ignore WrestlePalooza. WrestlePalooza was the big albatross in the second half of John Cena's retirement tour.
John Cena should have demanded a trade at the end of his retirement tour, gone to AEW, where they would have treated him better and won his last match. He would have won the world title in his last match, honestly. Like,
he would have. He would have.
Then they could have done this whole Contenders series, and they could have just crowned the new champion at Revolution.
The last time is now, Contender series.
Yeah. Where do you think Giannis is going? So the report yesterday from Shams was that they've heavily talked about him leaving now before the deadline or in the off season. He's ready for a new home at the deadline, and several rival teams are going to make aggressive offers for him. What do you think, SP3? Where is he going?
We talked about this before. I think that the Knicks have an inside track for getting Giannis, because I feel like they would be the ones that would be the most aggressive in getting him. However, when you compare their package to everybody else's package, they have one of the weakest packages to give to the Bucks. So if I'm the Bucks, I'm not accepting any of these trades from the Knicks. Honestly, I feel like now that we know they're going to take more like aggressive offers, and they're going to hear every team out that wants Giannis, I think that the Rockets jump to the top of the list for me. The Rockets, offering someone like a Sengun and some draft capital. That's what I've heard. I've heard that they are willing to move off of Sengun for a Giannis Antetokounmpo. So
they're not going to offer Sengun. Who said they're going to offer Sengun? Who said this?
I heard Shams talking about it on ESPN.
Shams is wrong. No, I don't know if Shams. I don't think they're offering Sengun. I really don't. Like, I want to preface all of this. Whatever a lot of media people say, some of it, a good chunk of it, honestly, is posturing, right? Yeah. Like, executives, maybe not even executives. I don't know how high or low level some of these people are, but they go to Shams and they're like, oh yeah, say this could be a Bucks executive or a Bucks skin. Don't know how high or low. A Bucks person could go to Shams and be like, yeah, say the Rockets are willing to move off of Sengun or Thompson. Could be true, could not be true. Shams goes out and says it. The Knicks are like, oh shit, they're going to offer up Sengun. Oh, now we got to offer up this, and might not be true. That they're
all the Knicks got is swaps. All they got is swaps.
Oh, really. The Knicks,
they got some good swaps with some bad teams, but I don't think the Knicks. Yeah, and that's only a few, but the Knicks are not the best package out there. Like I did a whole podcast yesterday with Chris G, the #1 Knicks fan, and he's so confident and thinks like, oh, the Knicks got this. The Knicks got the swap picks. They'll give it. Karl Anthony Towns is the best option for him, even though he didn't turn around and said Karl Anthony Towns is the weakness of the New York Knicks right now, who have won 4 straight. So bravo to them. I won't predict that they're going to win the East anymore. I want them to play well the rest of the year. But the Raptors have a better package. I agree with Jose. The Raptors definitely got a better package than the Knicks. If the Spurs want to jump into the conversation, even though I don't think they're going to want to, but I can see the Bucks reaching out to them to see what they offer. I think they have a better package than the Knicks. Like, the Knicks don't have anything really. Like, they traded 5 first rounders from Mikal Bridges. Like, no, it's not Mikal Bridges. Even a package of Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, and Deuce McBride, that is not good enough if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks to make the trade for Giannis.
Oh, I agree with you. I don't think the Knicks can make the best offer either. But as we know with this stuff, and this, I was going to point this out as well, as Mikey points out. If Giannis says the Knicks, that's where Giannis is going. We can't discount the player factor into this, because usually when these players say, I want to go here, I want to go there, that's where they end up. Doesn't matter if it's the best offer. If that's where the player wants to go, especially when you're dealing with a franchise legend like Giannis, they're going to want to honor that and do good by him. Now, do I think they should do that? No, I think you should take the best offer. Like, he's leaving the
Yeah.
team anyway. You don't have an
Yeah.
obligation to that player anymore. Once he says he wants out, or once you're deciding like I'm moving off of him, you don't have an obligation to him anymore. That's the way I view it anyway. So I would take the best offer, but I understand that's easy for me to say sitting here behind a microphone and not having an actual relationship with these players and understanding that, oh, if I don't do right by him, the next franchise player that comes along might look at me kind of differently and might be like, I'm out of here. But look, go ahead.
The way Giannis has been basically dipping his toes in the water, and he still hasn't swam in the water at all. The way this whole thing has gone down from, oh, I want to get traded, to no, I'm happy where I'm at, to now I'm ready for a new home. I don't see it increasing or escalating to the point in a week's time for him to be like, I only want to go to this team and this team alone. I don't see it going that far in a week's time. If we get to the offseason and he's still on this team, then I can see him saying, you better trade me to the Knicks now. But I don't see it happening in the week's time. I could be wrong, 100% could be wrong, but I don't see it escalating the way Giannis has handled this whole situation, and the weird headlines and tweets about Giannis wanting to make this move. I don't think he's gonna pull a 180 and be like, I want to get traded and I only want to get traded to this team. I can see him saying, I want to get traded and I only want to get traded to a contender. That I can see is realistic. I don't realistically see him saying, I only want to go to this one team.
I have a hot take for you. I think he's already said it. He just won't say anything like this publicly. He still wants to be kind of, clean cut, straight and narrow Giannis publicly, because he's never outright said like, oh yeah, I want to trade. He always denies it. He always says, like, I never have asked of all of this stuff. Like, I don't think he publicly wants to say any of this stuff. But you listen to his words in these post games, and this man injured him, didn't injure himself. He didn't purposely get injured. He got injured and was still like, I want to play. And then, like, Doc's like, no, we can't play you. And then he makes it out like, oh, see, they wouldn't play me and everything. And then 2 seconds after the game, he's like, yeah, I'm out 4 to 6 weeks. What? You're a doctor now, Giannis? You got diagnosed 2 seconds after the game? Huh? I think he has already said, yeah, I want out. I don't think he's fully said, like, I only want to go to this team. I do think he has said, like, here's where I want to go, and he's given like 2 teams, and
I think he's given, like, I don't think like and like I said once, I'll say 1,000 times, Giannis gets traded for a package like that of Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, and Deuce McBride. I don't even know if the Knicks are making it to the NBA Finals. I don't think that one person is going to change this bad defense that is the New York Knicks. I don't see him being the game changer that's going to get the Knicks a championship this season. Definitely not. I could see them going to the finals for sure with the Giannis and Jalen Brunson, but we've seen Giannis with a great scorer before, and it took other players. It took more role players. It took one of the greatest role players of this generation, Drew Holiday, to go to the Milwaukee Bucks to get them a championship. And that was also on an abbreviated season, a season that started 6 weeks after the last season ended. So there was a lot of circumstances that led to Giannis winning a championship in 2021 that I don't see going in the way of the New York Knicks and them winning a championship this year. Maybe it's a move that's going to lead to them winning a championship next year, but I don't see it happening this year.
I mean, if you make this trade, you're looking long term anyway, because you're expecting. Because here's the other thing we have to factor: teams aren't going to trade for Giannis without having some type of assurances that he's staying beyond next season, because he's a free agent after next season. You're not going to give up a ton just for a year and a half of a guy. Because yeah, this year it's going to be tough to win a title. I've already spoken ad nauseum about like making these franchise altering moves mid-season. How often do they pay off that particular season? Very rarely. Next season, different story. But then you have 1 year and you're giving up a lot for again a year and a half of a guy. So you want assurances that he's staying beyond that. Do I think he makes the Knicks the championship favorite? No. Do I think he solidifies them further in the East? Yes, but they can't stay healthy. Giannis can't stay healthy. You're losing some depth. Now they have more depth this year than they have in the years past. Like they're not even playing guys like Jordan Clarkson, which I mean Jordan Clarkson's not like playing well or anything, but like they have some depth pieces there. And you can get guys on the buyout market. You can make other moves and like the East is good, but Boston's hit and miss. I know they're playing well above what people thought they were going to play, but is that a team like you're looking at in the playoffs? Like, can they maintain that? Do you trust the Pistons making the leap that they have made this year? The Pistons feel very OKC from 2 years ago where, hey, you made the playoffs last year. You lost in the first round against the Knicks. You put up a good fight. Now you're way better than we thought, but you've never won a playoff series together. Can you actually do that? That's how they feel this year. Cleveland, they're playing well right now. Do you trust them? Like, I don't know. So if you're the Knicks, like you look at it and you're like, well, this gives us at least the best option to get to the finals. Can you win a title? I don't think any of these teams are better than the top teams in the West. You have a better shot, though, if you have Giannis on your team than if you have Karl Anthony Towns on your team.
I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah, I think like this is why the Knicks will probably be the most aggressive because they know they have a short window. Like, yes, getting Giannis will put them in a better position to probably win a championship next season. But this season is a great opportunity for a lot of these Eastern Conference teams with Tyrese Haliburton going down for the Pacers, Jason Tatum going down to the playoffs for the Boston Celtics. We don't know how he's going to come back if he does come back this season. So they have an opening that they need to kind of strike while the iron is hot, but I just don't see it being better than any team in the West. It doesn't matter who comes out the West. It doesn't matter if the West is a bloodbath. The Thunder can beat them. The Spurs can beat them. I think the Nuggets can beat them. The Rockets can beat them. Even my no defense having Lakers can probably beat the Knicks. Like, I just don't. I think so. I think that we would still be better than the Knicks. The Knicks, Giannis would have to play 48 minutes per game for them to beat anyone in the West. So I just don't see it. I don't see it equaling a championship. And they've all said that's what the Knicks are looking for. That's why they didn't raise the NBA Cup banner. They think they're going to win a championship this year.
Well, that was stupid. They're not going to win an NBA championship this year. I still agree that they shouldn't have raised the cup banner. But this should not deter the team from like doing the move. Like if you get Giannis,
I'm not saying it should deter the team. I'm just saying that this is not the droids that they want. This is not the droids that they think they're getting. That they think, oh, we get Giannis, we're winning the NBA championship. No, it's not happening. They'll win they'll win the Eastern Conference possibly, but I don't see them winning a championship. I don't see them winning a championship next year either.
Well, next year is a different story. And this is going to go to my point of, all right, maybe you don't win a title next year, but now you've got your roster in place. Now you've got Giannis and whoever you have left. Now you have an off season to continue to retool around these guys. And now you know more of what you need because you'll have a playoff run and be like, all right, where's our weaknesses at? What can we identify? Sort of like the Lakers with Luka last year. Look, they got Luka and it didn't pay off with a championship. That doesn't mean you don't make that Luka trade, especially that particular Luka trade. Like you definitely make that deal. It didn't pay off. Like they won one playoff game with that roster. But now it was like, okay, what do we need to make the roster better? Okay, we need this, this, and this. Now, they didn't go out and actually address any of those needs, but you saw what they needed with that.
But that wasn't a move to win the championship that year. This would be a move for the Knicks to win the championship this year. I think it's two different situations, despite the players being on the same caliber. I think it's two different type of situations. The Knicks are looking to win a championship in the next 2 years, this year or next year. I don't think they're getting that, even with Giannis.
Okay. the Lakers made that move to better themselves for a championship spot last year. It's
in
also
the
a
future for the next couple of years, not for just next year, not for this year, for the next couple of years, for what we're gonna be after LeBron, because it was looking quite depressing. It was looking like the late Kobe years for the Lakers, with LeBron James winding down his career, and then Anthony Davis was gonna be our best player in absence of LeBron. It was looking really bad. This improved our future prospects for the next 5 years, instead of just looking to win a championship that year or the year after.
It improved it was a long term because Luka's younger than Davis. So obviously you're looking at that approach, but you don't make that move and just be like, well, we put ourselves in a worse position this year and next year, but don't worry, in 3 years, we're like, you're making that move with aspirations of, we've bettered our chances for a championship this year as well. Everybody put the Lakers as favorites after this move. Everybody use it loosely. A lot of people, no, don't. Shannon Sharpe, Lakers in 5. Everybody put the Lakers of like, they're the favorites now with Luka. Look what they've done. They're gonna take out the Thunder. This happened, SP3. Come on.
I didn't hear a lot of people saying they were gonna take out the Thunder. I heard a lot of people saying they would face the Thunder in the playoffs. They would make it to the Western Conference Finals. I didn't hear a lot of people say the Lakers were going to win the championship. I just didn't. I'm sorry. You heard something that I didn't.
You gotta. That's fine. If you didn't hear it, then fine. I think people in the chat will agree that a lot of people said, again, to use the Shannon Sharpe reference, Lakers in 5. Thunder, Lightning, Lakers in 5. How'd that work out for them? I know Shannon is a...
Thank you, Jose. Yes, Shannon Sharpe is not the person we're supposed to be like, a lot of people, Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is a person who is cannot be taken seriously at all.
It was loud. They said that Luka took down OKC the year before. Yeah. Shannon Sharpe might be a bad example. Shannon Sharpe was not the only example. All right, a lot of people were saying this.
Other than Shannon Sharpe, I don't remember a lot of people saying that.
Okay, all right. Well, a lot of people said it. SP3. So,
a lot of people that I would listen to, I didn't hear saying that.
Okay, all right. A lot of people on a lot of big platforms said it. If you don't listen to them, that's fine. I don't listen to a lot of... I don't listen to them. I don't take their opinions serious, but... they all said it. The Morris twins are two more people. But Patrick Beverley
I'm the biggest Laker fan out here, and I did not say that. I did not even say that. I wasn't going out the window. I was saying Lakers would make it to the conference finals and lose to the Thunder. I had the Thunder from the beginning of the year, and that didn't change when we got Luka Doncic.
Okay. No, I know where you stood on things.
And I'll be honest, that's the only person that I will listen to when it comes to basketball. And Jeremy, that's it. If we weren't saying it, I don't care. Colin Cowherd, y'all are naming like the worst people ever. Like you got people like you got idiots like Zeno. Stop the cap. But he can't name one person worth a damn that has an opinion that actually matters, that is actually educated, that has actual research behind it. That said that you could say Colin Cowherd and Shannon Sharpe, two of the worst media persons in all of basketball. What are y'all talking about?
Okay, hold on. Now you're saying, look,
Nick Wright.
I don't believe any of these people.
It's like we're naming a Mount Rushmore of horrible people in media. Yes, the worst people in basketball media are the people that said that. Congratulations. I don't listen to those people.
I don't listen to these people either, SP3. But again, we're not going to act like this was not said loudly after the Luka trade. Just like with this Giannis trade, you were saying, okay, it doesn't put them as a favorite for a title this year and everything. But that's going to be the talk from these same people who position as, okay, let's get Giannis. Oh, maybe they can win a title this year with everything. They're bettering themselves, just like the Lakers bettered themselves for a potential championship with Luka. The Knicks would be bettering themselves for a potential championship with Giannis. Do we buy that they're the title favorites because they get Giannis? No. But I'm not going to dismiss that that's going to be the talk, and that they are not bettering themselves not only for this year, because I do think they better themselves for this year. They better themselves for next year and years beyond. You'd rather have a 30-year-old Giannis. I think Towns is also 30 as well. You'd rather have, again, these guys than you'd rather have Towns, and you can set yourself up for the future with Giannis. So yes, the talk will be, okay, oh, well, they're going to win a title, and you might be like, well, it's not going to make them better. They're not going to win a title. Like, I agree with you, but let's not act like that's not going to be the talk, and like that they shouldn't do the trade out here.
I'll be honest with you. I think this is the real point of this whole conversation. I don't care what these people say. I am telling y'all as a person that got it all right last year, that told y'all as a Laker fan, we got Luka Doncic. I was like, we can make it to the conference finals. That was my aspirations. That was my aspiration for the Los Angeles Lakers last year. Even this year, going into this year, did I put the Lakers in? I didn't even put the Lakers in my top three of the. No, I think I put them like third. I didn't put them at the top of the Western Conference. I didn't predict the Lakers were going to win the championship this year, and I'm not predicting the Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to make the New York Knicks an NBA champion this year or next year. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
All these talking heads and the worst people that y'all could possibly listen to, Wendy, Cowherd, Shannon Sharp, congratulations. Y'all listen to a whole bunch of idiots that talk about basketball. Congratulations to all of y'all for getting dumber about the game of basketball by listening to the dumbest people in basketball media. I appreciate y'all for that. And I appreciate that y'all listened to them and y'all said it. Oh, they were saying it really loud. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Y'all ain't saying SP3. Y'all ain't saying Jeremy. So I don't give a damn what y'all said or what anybody else said.
I hope Giannis gets traded to the Thunder. I definitely didn't buy that the Lakers were better. I mean, they're better with Luka. I didn't think they were going to win a championship with Luka. Especially, I mean, they're a better team with Luka. Obviously, just like the Knicks will be a better team if they get Giannis. Yeah, I just want Giannis.
I never said they're not going to be a better team. I just said they're not going to win a championship. That's why, I could say I have listened to people who get it wrong in the past as well. I've been like a lot of these people in the chat that were like, you're capping, that's cap, stop the cap, and all this nonsense. I've been there. I lived in New York for all my life. 37 years of my life, I've lived in New York. And I said this to Chris G yesterday on our basketball podcast. I was like, I lived in New York where Daily News, they invented AI. They had Gronk on speed dial back in the 90s and the 2000s. I've seen every top superstar player within this stratosphere in those 2 decades. They said they were going to the Knicks. I saw on the front page of the Daily News, the Knicks were going to get Tracy McGrady when he was in his prime in 2002. The Knicks were going to get Kobe Bryant in 2007 when he said he wanted to leave the Los Angeles Lakers. They were going to get Chris Webber in 2001 when he was going to leave the Sacramento Kings. They were going to get they did Photoshop before Photoshop was even an app. And I listened to that and I heard all of that. And then I saw over the course of my 30, 40 years, they didn't get not one of them except for Carmelo Anthony. And that's about it.
I do love SP3 shoots on ESPN. Oh yeah, the Knicks, the Lakers are accused of this as well. It's like, oh, every big free agent's gonna go to the Lakers. The Knicks and the Lakers are always the two. Like, we're just gonna get 100%. Everybody. It's very funny to me. At least the Lakers actually get some of these people. The Knicks
exactly don't. Exactly. Like at least the Lakers usually get a cup. We'll get if we shoot for 100, we'll get 20. If the Knicks shoot for 100, they are lucky to get 1. That is what I've learned from growing up in New York my whole life.
Yeah, the Lakers, over the past few years, they've still ended up with LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Luka. The Knicks have ended up with Jalen Brunson, who, look, Jalen Brunson has turned into a good player. Jalen Brunson was coming off like one good season. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, he was coming off one good season in Dallas.
I was one of the people that had to apologize to Jalen Brunson because when they gave him that contract, I was like, the Knicks overpaid. The Knicks overpaid. This guy had one good playoff series. Like, why are y'all overpaying him? But he turned into an absolute superstar, and he's helped the team grow in so many different ways. Like, the Knicks should not be in the position that they are right now, where they're considered a favorite in the Eastern Conference. They wouldn't be there without Jalen Brunson. So I can admit when I'm wrong. I know when I'm wrong. I admit when I'm wrong. A lot of these people that y'all talking about in the chat that y'all listen to for basketball knowledge and media, they don't admit when they're wrong. No,
they definitely don't. Yeah, they've ended up with Jalen Brunson, who again was coming off like one good season, and Karl Anthony Towns, who is like a fine player, but no one's saying like, I want Karl Anthony Towns to be the face of my franchise and he's going to lead my team to a championship. And Karl Anthony Towns is like a good role player. If he's the third best player on your team, you got something, but that's about it there with him. I just want Giannis to stay East. I don't need him coming West. Like, the West already has all the top players. What are we doing out here?
We need them to abolish East and West for the All-Star voting. The only way we're able to do that is if Giannis goes to the Rockets or the Spurs. We need to abolish East versus West because Giannis is literally the best player in the Eastern Conference. If he goes to the West, it is over. It is over. The Eastern Conference should abolish all conferences. It should just be one NBA. It should be one standings altogether.
Like the East is so bad. Like, Detroit's playing well, good on them, but I don't need another star player coming West. If he goes to the Warriors, okay, like the Warriors trade package, what? Jonathan Kuminga, torn ACL, Jimmy Butler, Pods, Brandon. This is the package you're putting together for Giannis. I don't think any of the teams that are willing to offer players right now have a good enough player to get Giannis. That's my take right now. Because I don't think Houston's actually offering Sengun or Thompson. I don't think the Spurs are actually offering Castle or Harper. I don't think the Thunder are offering Dub or Chet. So you're looking at, again, the Knicks package of OG in New York, or OG in Towns.
What about Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon?
The Nuggets aren't actually offering that. The Nuggets aren't on this. I don't think any team is actually offering a good enough player. I think teams
Julius
are offering
Randle, Donovan DiVincenzo, and draft capital.
That package sucks too. This is where, if I'm the Thunder, legitimately, if I'm the Thunder, I'm looking at this and I'm like, we can give you the best draft pick package. By far, we can give you the best draft. We'll give you 300 picks. All right? You'll be scouting sonograms with all the picks we can give you out here.
And we'll give you one player. We'll give you Dub. We'll give you Dub.
No, we don't have to give you Dub. No. Why are we giving up Dub?
Give it 5 draft picks and Dub.
No, Dub would be
the championship for the next 3 years. Like, y'all be all right.
No. Dub would be by far the best player of all. Dub's better than Towns. He's better than Randall. He's better than all these guys. You kidding me? No, we'll give you 300 draft picks. We'll give you Hartenstein and Dort to make up the contracts. You're telling me these 500 draft picks, Hartenstein and Dort, aren't better than Randall and DiVincenzo and Towns? You know what you're getting with Randall and Towns. You're getting mediocre players who do nothing for your team because your team's not good enough as it is. Hartenstein and Dort are the same thing. They're mediocre players, but at least they're going to fill their role and not try to punch above their weight. We'll throw in Case and Wallace. You know what I mean? Take Case and Wallace. I love Case and Wallace, but we got AJ Mitchell now. We're fine. We'll give you Wiggins instead of Wallace. Whatever. We'll give you Isaiah Joe. We're giving you good role players. We're not giving you guys like Towns and Randall and ACL Jimmy Butler who are star players who are not star players, who want to be star players, but they can't carry your team. We're giving you good role players who you need to build a team around, and then we're giving you 500 chances at the lottery. That's way better than Jimmy Butler, ACL Jimmy Butler out here. Way better than Karl Anthony Towns with no defense. Way better than Julius Randle, who thinks he's prime LeBron James on most possessions. You get 500 chances at the lottery. The OKC should actually do this. They won't because they won't trade Dort. I don't even think they'll trade Hartenstein because these guys are very embedded in the community and stuff. But they should come over the top and just beat all of these offers. If Houston ain't putting up one of their top young guys, if the Spurs ain't putting up one of their top young guys, if Brooklyn ain't putting up some of their young talent, I don't think he wants to go to Brooklyn anyway. Come over the top. They're going to give up so many draft picks. They'll be scouting pregnancy tests out here. That's how far in the future they will be giving up these draft picks. They're going to have to go to the local CVS and be like, this looks like this pregnancy test right here. This one has future NBA player written all over it. This is the one right here.
I'm waiting 18 years for this one.
Pregnancy tests and sonogram draft picks. That's what we're scouting out here.
2040. They're checking Pee Wee leagues and AAU.
I don't think Giannis. I said it. I'm steadfast in this. I don't think Giannis gets traded at the deadline. We're a week before the deadline. I don't think he gets traded before then. I think the offseason, the offers will be better, and that is when you will get the top offers for Giannis, because that more teams will have draft picks available. More teams will be a little bit more desperate of like, all right, we failed in the playoffs. Let's go. This guy didn't really work out. This is what happened with OKC in a couple years ago. They were the number one seed. They made into the playoffs. They lost. And then it was like, oh, okay, what do we need? Okay, we need this and this. Who can we move from? We can move off of Giddey. All right, what do we trade him for? Well, we can get Caruso. Okay, let's do that trade then. Like you realize who fits on your team and who doesn't fit on your team more in a playoff situation. And so in the offseason, you're more willing to make these moves. I think it ends up kind of like the Warriors last year. Or not necessarily the Warriors, but the Kevin Durant trade last year. Remember, Durant was rumored to be traded at the deadline last year.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to go to Golden State. He didn't want that. Houston wasn't making a strong enough offer at the time because they wanted to see what the team could do. They were the 2 seed, so they wanted to see what the team could do in the playoffs. Nobody was really coming across with a strong enough offer, so we just stayed in Phoenix. And in the offseason, they're like, okay, we need to actually go out there and get Kevin Durant. Let's make this move now. So I think it'll wait for the offseason. That's a terrible fucking trade. All these trades suck. Nobody's offering good deals. Nobody's making any of these good deals.
That's what I said. I think he is going to get traded in the offseason, not this season. So we shall see what happens. We got next week.
We got a week.
Yeah, we'll be hyping up trade deadline. Hopefully some moves happen between now and Tuesday when I'm back on the show, so we could talk about it.
Rumble.
Then, so we'll see.
The Rumble is going to end, and that Giannis trade is going to break.
Giannis to the New York Knicks.
Wouldn't it be something if, like, WWE is on ESPN now. So let's say Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble, right? Acknowledge me, fireworks going off, point to the sign.
And then you see at the bottom, it says ticker. It says, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo.
That's too low level. You know what's got to happen. Throw it to the back. Who's there? Triple H. Well, we've got the Giannis Kumbo. Tyrese, how do you say this? He's been traded.
He's been traded. That's great. It's gonna do big numbers for the New York Knicks. But let's talk about the numbers for Royal Rumble. It's record breaking stuff for tonight's Royal Rumble. Most viewers that we've ever had on the ESPN app. Yes, we've only been here for a few months, but this is the most viewers that we've ever had for any premium live events. It's the most viewed Royal Rumble of all time. Record gate here in Saudi Arabia, even though most of the people were forced to come due to the government, but it's all good. It's the record for all this stuff. This is what we do. Did you enjoy the show? All part of the show.
Giannis has been traded for all the slave workers in Saudi who helped build this stadium. Thank you.
Thank you to the slave workers. We appreciate
you.
I don't see color and I don't see slave work.
Imagine Triple H breaking the Giannis trade. That would be something. They want to really go full bore with this partnership. Let Triple H break the Giannis trade. I just want to hear him pronounce the name.
This is what it's all for. That's gonna be the big story is Triple H's pronunciation of Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, we need we need it. We need the follow up. We need to see if he could do better than.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. The MVP of the NBA. Yeah, I'm not making this up. For AEW Rampage, ladies and gentlemen, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Let's go.
It's like he got so hyped. He got high off the hype. He was, let's go. The great thing. I'm not kidding. He didn't even let us know.
I'm serious.
I'm serious. He didn't even let us know who it is for you to be like, I'm serious. Like, at least say his name and be like, I'm serious. He's coming out. Wait for it. He's coming out.
What if Giannis? Maybe this man will break the Giannis trade. We're gonna bring on Corey. He's like, what are you guys talking about out here? From MLW promoter, their Battle Riot show is tonight in Orlando. It will air next week on YouTube. They have a press conference here coming up later on this afternoon in Orlando. Returning to the show on location once again. We'll see if there's Gators out there somewhere. The one, the only Court BAUER. Court, how are you doing?
No Gators, but we do have a beautiful El Camino. That is Don Gatto's El Camino. You can see there's tequila in the background. So we're going to get into that little tequila and lunch this afternoon before we get into the Battle Riot tonight and a press conference with Danny McBride and El Senor Don Gatto here in Orlando.
Do you know where Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be traded, Court?
It's a great question. As a Knicks fan, I would love him, but I think we'd have to give up way too much to get him.
What is way too much? Give him Karl Anthony Towns? That's not way too much. Come on now.
I'm just saying, I don't think it would just be him. Yeah, I think you'd have to trade a lot more than just Cat.
You trade them all. You're getting Giannis. Come on now.
I would love it. Hey, if I was a general manager of a company, a league, or a sports team, I would do it. But alas, maybe he'll end up in the Battle Riot tonight.
I was going to say, is Giannis going to be in the Battle Riot? That was my next question.
We need Court to pronounce
likely.
Giannis Antetokounmpo because you got to be the one to introduce him. You got to pronounce it.
I mean, look, I was trying to phonetically Google it right now how you spell it, and it broke my spell check. Giannis, when you're so over or it's just too problematic to try to pronounce the whole damn thing, you just go with Giannis. Greek names are tough.
You can do it, Court. We have faith in you. It can't be.
I said Giannis, man. That's it. Yeah. That's all I got. I got to do a press conference and I got to do a Battle Riot tonight. They're trying to get me to say European names. Come on, I wasn't ready for this.
We need a couple more of the Don Gatto shots, and we'll get you going with the Antetokounmpo.
Well, I need a shot glass right about now.
Talk to us about Battle Riot. The MLW World Title is on the line once again. Cruel is coming into the Battle Riot as the champion. We will see if he leaves the Battle Riot as the champion. But putting the title on the line again with the Battle Riot.
Yeah, it's a big one. 40 combatants are going to vie for the MLW World Heavyweight Championship, the second time that's ever happened. Last year, Matt Riddle successfully defended it in Los Angeles. Can Mads Kruger do it here in Central Florida? To be determined. There'll be a lot of surprises, a lot of interesting familiar names popping up. It's a who's who here in Orlando. It's going to be an interesting night. One of the things that's so interesting, too, is Matt Riddle's won two consecutive Battle Riots. No one's ever done that. Can he do the three-piece tonight, win the world title? We'll see. Interesting stat.
How hard is it to kind of balance all the people that want to be in the Battle Riot and who gets chosen to be a part of like the biggest match of the year for MLW?
Well, we have the luxury of it being 40 guys. So, it's like you want the surprises, you want some like callbacks, you want a little mixture of everything. And you want it's fun to like also give an opportunity to guys you're not sure you would put into the system yet, not sure how they'd fit into the system. This is a great opportunity to kind of put them out there and see if there's something for us there. And we are always so pleasantly surprised. We're really excited. And there's guys that you've wanted to use, you just don't have it open because during a usual TV taping or something, you only have so many spots. 40 wrestler match. Now you're like, man, let's let it rip. Let's let all these guys in there and see what we have. But it's it's a pretty methodical process. We start this process like 2-3 months out to really build out the match, and really we start looking at what we think it's going to look like and months in advance, sometimes a year in advance, if we have the good fortune of knowing kind of where we're going to be and what the runway is for everything.
The bringing back MLW Fusion. Do we have a premiere date for that, for the return?
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Can't say much more than what's out there on that yet.
I could break some news here, Cord. Come on.
I know. Hey, I told you there's an El Camino here with tequila. That's huge. At the end of this interview is me riding off Dukes of Hazzard style off a cliff with that thing.
Well, I don't know if we want that.
We want that.
Well, look, tequila is worth dying for sometimes. Come on.
All right. So I'll go ahead, SP3.
No, I was just going to ask a kind of a follow-up to that. What was behind the decision to bring back MLW Fusion without giving us any details on when it's coming back? What was kind of the thought process and the mindset on bringing back the weekly show?
Well, it's from a creative perspective, it's a great opportunity because we need a little bit of time to kind of regenerate the roster and slow down to kind of build up the stories, build up the talent, build up kind of the flow of what we want to do. You get into that routine of doing weekly TV, and it's like you're in a hamster wheel. You just keep doing it, and you can tell there's like the ebbs and flow of that can be hard. It can be slow. It can be kind of like, okay, things aren't working out. Then you got to work through that funkiness, and the viewers are subjected to it. I wanted to avoid that in between seasons. And, for about a year and a half, we've done a radical overhaul of our roster from top to bottom, from guys like Killer Cross to great prospects like Diego Hill. It's a way different roster than it was when we wrapped up the last season of Fusion. And we got different stories to tell, and we have different journeys to show. So for us, having that episodic component is great when you have great talent to support it. And we have that with this show. So it's, I can tell you, we've got about 15 episodes outlined, about 6 fully done, run sheets set, locked, and post-production working on some elements. And here's a scoop, we're going to film the first 2 episodes tonight in Orlando.
All right. There we go. At least we got some type of scoop out here. We appreciate
Giannis has not been located at the building at this moment, so sorry. And I did not, and I can neither confirm or deny I voted for Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame.
Everyone should be voting for Belichick. I think they did it as a bit just to see how pissed off his girlfriend would get and be like, let's see what kind of reaction we can get out of her.
Well, what's so weird is you hear everyone said I voted for him. I'm like, all these people claim they fucking voted for him. I don't know. I don't see anyone actually saying they didn't. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're all scared. They don't want that kind of backlash. They know it was a bad
I think
move.
they thought I think they were ready for that, like, virtual signaling, and then they're like, I'm gonna just dial that down a little bit. This doesn't feel like there was the right vibe for this one. I mean, I was as a Giants fan, I was there for the 2 Super Bowls where Giants beat them. You can't take away what that guy accomplished. He's even with all the drama and all the scandal stuff, he was a top shelf quarter. He was a top shelf coach. Just awesome. I think the hardest thing in any sport, any business, though, is when to say when and call it a day. And I think it's so hard because you're like the hamster in the wheel. You keep going, and then it's all you have. I mean, when I worked for Vince, he didn't have hobbies. His hobby was working out. He didn't go on vacation. It was the business, and there was nothing else. And so it's like, it's a hard thing. You operate at a certain level. You're at a certain wavelength. It's hard to then just dial it back and say, I'm gonna go golfing or go hang out on a beach. It sounds great, but those guys just get wired and they can't not do what they're doing.
What's the, last time we had you on, we talked about our impending partnership between MLW and Ring of Hallucinations. I think we've signed more of your talent since then, by the way.
Damn it.
Yeah, Gallows is definitely in with us. He's 100%. And I mean, Gallows might be,
as long as I can have Festus, we're going to be okay.
Maybe you pitched it yourself, but what's like with WWE Unreal, we see a lot of these behind the scenes pitches of like, Pat McAfee should beat Gunther. What's the craziest thing you heard in one of the writers' room as a pitch?
Craziest thing I heard? I mean, one of the weirdest things we ever did was probably, we try to get Vince to do like an FMW death match. That was something that was just fascinating. We showed him the video of FMW death matches with Onita and stuff, and the explosions, and the ambulance showing up, and the famous stuff, the IWA stuff. And he just sits there and watch it, and he's like, "All right, let's try it." And then through the process of once he signed off, Kevin Dunn's team and Kevin Dunn and all these other people, I mean, it's a massive company. They get their hands on it and mutated into, drum roll, Great Khali's Punjabi prison match, which didn't even have the original guys in it that were supposed to be in it. Big Show kind of flopped through the damn bamboo thing and it very slowly, very, very gently. And we watch that thing, and every company gets snake bitten. You just go through a bad spell where nothing's going to work out as you imagine, and you're just like, I think we had all these wrestlers had like false positives for like elevated enzymes and all types of stuff. I think fans were even merching like shirts that said, "I have elevated enzymes." And as a joke, we actually got one for Vince. We bought it, may have extended back to WWE, and gave it to Vince for a meeting, and he popped, and then he left it there on the chair. And when he left it there, Michael Hayes took it and wore it like for 3 months without ever washing it to the gym on the second floor of Titan Towers. So, I think the joke was on us in the end.
Okay, so Vince has seen an Onita match, which is the biggest story to me, that Vince McMahon has actually seen an Onita match.
No, the biggest story is showing Vince FMW led to the Punjabi prison match. That is an insane leap. Greatest story.
And then, it's so crazy because they're telling us they're getting ready. This thing's gonna be huge, and we're asking for like, can we see the mock-ups? Can we see, storyboards of this? Because they usually do that. It's amazing how they'll, it's almost like a film studio how they can really prep for things. And then they're not showing it to us. I was like, oof, that's not good. And then like 7 days out, they show us that this is like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and I'm like, oh shit. And there's nothing you can do. It's like, that's the move when you don't want someone to be involved with the process. Like, we'll show it to you when you can't fix it. And we're looking at this thing. I was like, well, there's no give on that bamboo. How do you climb that thing? Like, it's just ugly and weird. And it's like, that looks like a play gym, from hell or something. It was bizarre. And then, Khali goes down with an injury or some health issues or something like that. It was just, it was a ton. I mean, that was a Great American Bash. I think that show we had like half the roster go down from false positives. So you're also then rebooking a whole pay-per-view, which is not easy to do on the fly, even when you have the resources of WWE. And you had a brand split, which they were at the time very rigid about not having crossover. So trying to play within those rules ain't easy. It ain't easy. And look, poor Taker, he's probably I know he got to showcase a lot of great things, but part of being a special attraction, which he was for most of his career, was always having to work through the Giant Gonzalez's and the freak matches, which really for a guy like that who's so athletic, was so talented, it really hamstrung him. But that Punjabi prison match, yeah, I mean you can tell he was a team player going through that thing.
I think he hates that match. I feel like I've heard him talk about it before. He's like, this
Not much to
sucked.
like about it. The best thing is, a year later, we're sitting there in the writer's room, and then someone just, I don't know who, they just left on the conference table the Punjabi playset. And it was actually made up for action figures. I don't think it's probably sold very well. And I just remember looking at that thing. I was like, oh, God. I mean, it looks much cooler as a playset, but it's like, PTSD for bad gimmicks. It's certainly not one of those things. You want to be part of the big moments that are like iconic, and there were certainly contributions I made, the team made that during that time that were. Then there's this, which I love this stuff because it's so notoriously shitty.
Yeah.
It's the other stuff is like, yeah, everyone talks about it. It's fun, cool, boring. This is when you're doing the real good work.
See, I always say my favorite match is the Alliance to End Hulkamania against Hogan and Savage in the Doomsday Cage match. You guys need to bring back that structure.
Someone pitched that. They want. I think Chris DeJoseph, when I was there, was constantly pitching WCW ideas, and one of his ideas, the cage on the cage on the cage.
Yeah.
And Vince is like, it's a gimmick on a gimmick. And he just, he wasn't big into anything other than the Hell in a Cell because he thought it took away from Hell in a Cell. That was the signature cage match where everything built. We didn't really do many cage matches outside Hell in a Cell once that was introduced. War Games, he wouldn't do for obvious reasons. He didn't like it philosophically. I think for a lot of guys too, especially Vince, it's ownership of a gimmick. That was a dusty thing. But there was practical from a production point of view. We did War Games at MLW in 2019. And when you do two cage and stuff, it does eat up seats. It does create a funky production. It's not easy. So there are logistical issues. I mean, you can't do a true centered hard camera shot. It's then you try to shoot and things spill into the other ring. It can be cute, but also it gets tiring 3 hours into that thing.
See, we're not worried about logistics here. I know you have to, but like I'm not. I just want the dumbest shit possible, and we'll
you're talking to the right guy.
I'm telling you, Court, this Ring of Hallucinations MLW partnership is going to be the next big thing in wrestling.
It's a collaboration. I think we need to do that. I mean, it's. I think it's one of those things that you could do anywhere. Like we said, you could do it on a barge. I would prefer doing it on a barge. In the Hudson River. You can do it. In Hawaii near the volcanoes. That could really give that thing some real stakes.
Yeah,
we should definitely do like a volcano match where we're just dropping people in there.
Well, the one I always loved was Inoki's. The one where he was on the Amazon River with MMA fighters. That one was like 25 years ago. Look that up. That was that's you got Piranha, you got Anaconda. I mean, you got some options there.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk some more after this. We'll talk off air so people don't steal all of our ideas.
Yeah. Well, that's the business.
Is there any idea that you wanted to do, whether it's your time in WWE or MLW, that you really wanted to do but you couldn't do because of logistics?
Well, a lot of the times it's up to talent, availability, or just logistics. There's things that come up that you just don't know how it'll play out. There's times we were going to have talent come in. Like one of the biggest matches we were so excited for was in I want to say 05, 06 in WWE, Brock Lesnar was going to come back. And he came to Titan Towers. He was at the office. And we started planning out Brock's return the summer of, I think it may have been 06. And Brock was going to have a program with Dave Bautista. Cena and Batista were the top two guys that Vince was going with. And we thought Brock and Batista would have had an insane rivalry. And so we built out all this cool stuff for him to be on the SmackDown, which he had a lot of history with. And, you get so excited about what those things could do, what those matches could be. And, at the time it was, 06, we had a very talented roster. It would have been a game changer, but unfortunately, they got very close to the 1 yard line on a deal then just it fell apart and he didn't return for some time. But you always go, what if, that would have meant no UFC Brock Lesnar, would have meant totally different presentation of Brock Lesnar when he came back. I think that Brock would have been closer to the one we saw in the early days of his WWE run. But I also think it would have been an awesome match for Dave Bautista. I think that would have been a great rivalry that he could have had. The other one is Eddie Guerrero and Shawn Michaels. We were penciled in literally the week going into, unfortunately, that show, we lost Eddie in November. We'd penciled in a whole run to WrestleMania that was going to build to HBK at 22 against Eddie. And man, oh man, that would have been something special. I think the promos would have been great. The matches would have been great. Who knows where that could have taken the business. I think the fans would have loved it. I think the talent would have thrived. That's one of those tragic what ifs.
Is Danny McBride back there? Is he in the El Camino there?
He's lurking. I don't know where he is, but he's lurking.
I'm trying to get a Danny McBride cameo on this show if we can. I'm not going to try to be subtle about this. See if he can pop on, say we're fucking out, and go from there.
Yeah, I saw him a little earlier. I don't see him out there now, but if I can, I'd pull him in. I don't see Don Gatto either. So
either one.
Knowing them, they're probably just making sure that agave is really good in the tequila here.
Court, we appreciate you joining us today. Let everybody know, again, talk about MLW Battle Riot. Let everyone know when they can check it out. Why? Last one, I guess. Why the decision to air it a week later instead of live?
Because of our upcoming Fusion schedule, it just felt like a better thing to just keep it a little bit closer to that than this week. And for us too, it just gave us a little bit more time with post-production, which I'm a big fan of just for quality control. A little also breathing room from the Royal Rumble this weekend. Doesn't hurt. And it felt like a week gives us a nice push. I think there'll be a lot of buzz coming out of this week's show. So we're excited for it.
All right. Again, let everybody know where they can check it out, where they can continue to follow MLW.
You can follow MLW on YouTube.com at MLW or / Major League Wrestling, your preference. That's where you'll see the Battle Riot, also on Cable's BN Sports nationwide next Thursday, 8 p.m. Tune in, watch it. You also have Templario defending the World Middleweight Championship against Kushida. It's going to be a great night, a night to riot. And then coming soon, Fusion, a new season, and it's going to be a badass show. Can't wait to share it with you guys. And we're in Chicago next week. Sadly, we sold out last month. We haven't announced anything for it. It's a mystery show and a Fusion TV taping. So there's an exclusive also for you.
Also got the New Japan CMLL Fantastic Mania USA coming up as well.
That's a big one. Yep. In our hometown of Charleston.
I say that's April 12th.
April 12th. Yeah.
Oh, look at me.
Yeah. There you go. You should be a promoter. I think you're on your way with Ring of Hallucination.
Ring of Hallucinate. We're going to get this rolling here, Court. We're going to get this rolling. And you can see Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Battle Riot next week as well.
Yes, as I trade away all 39 other combatants so he can be the one.
Thank you for joining us, Court. We appreciate it.
Have a good one, guys. Great catching up.
Thanks, man.
Yes.
There you go, Court Bauer. Everybody. I'm going to get a booking job on MLW one way or another.
FMW led us to Punjabi prison. Like, I can't get over that. That is you know you gotta kill the headline on that one. That is a major headline. Onita and FMW being shown to Vince. led to the Punjabi prison match. That is the big takeaway from that.
Like they saw that, and then Kevin Dunn, once it got to him, he's like, well, how do we monetize this? And like, you can't monetize like an FMW death match, really. So they turned it into something that, as Court said, you can make a playset out of. You can't make a playset of explosions. I mean, I guess you can, but I don't think that's really kid friendly and everything. So yeah, I guarantee that's what it was. It's like, well, how do we make this into a monetary gain for us? How do we make this into a playset? That's what WWE's all about, especially then. I mean, now still, but it's like, all right, how can we turn this into a playset for kids? And that's what they came up with.
Awesome.
Appreciate Cord on location once again. I was trying to get Danny McBride on this show. Maybe next time.
A for effort.
We do have to get into AEW. AEW Dynamite last night. The big news coming out of the show: Tommaso Ciampa is all elite. Mark Briscoe defeated a clone, and then afterwards he said, the TNT Open Title Challenge, it's here. I'm ready to defend. Saturday, I'm going to defend it. Who's up? Lights went down. Unrecognizable theme played, although it's already stuck in SP3's head. Psycho Killer flashed across the screen.
My shadow knows my story.
And out came Tommaso Ciampa, confronted Mark Briscoe, and it is official. He's facing Mark Briscoe for the TNT title on Saturday, and it is official. He is all elite. Did not take him long to find a job. SP3. Your thoughts on Ciampa debuting?
It's very rare, especially with AEW nowadays, that you get a genuine shock debut. And I know there was a lot of people when Tommaso Ciampa, when the news first broke out that he was going to become a free agent, that they was like, oh, he can go to AEW. And then when he made the news official last week, it was a lot of people that was like, maybe he'll go to AEW down the road. But a lot of people were talking away from that because, there's the issue with AEW getting people from WWE, and they kind of just shift into the mid card or get lost in the shuffle altogether. So there was talk of him possibly going, more on the indies, like he said in his departure speech. Him going to New Japan was the reports that came out after that, and then it was him going to TNA, and he could be a top guy for TNA, which he could. So like, all of that was all fine and dandy, but I think that when he said that he was going to do like another decade in the business, I was like, you got to think eventually he'll join AEW. I did not think it was going to come this fast. This was a shock to me, and I was very much surprised to see it. I got hyped. I had my quiet pop where I just have to slap like a part of my body or something and to make something.
That's banned in Ciampa territory. Randy Orton yelled at him for that.
Thigh slapping. I had the thigh slap, like, oh my God, I can't believe this. He's here. And him coming out to, interrupt Mark Briscoe. It felt like a big moment, a huge moment, a great moment, especially for him as somebody that, never really thought you can go back to interviews that he had when he was in NXT. He never thought he was going to have a good main roster run. He literally had a famous quote where he said, when they decide to call me up, I'm going to retire. That's because he knew he had it good in NXT so much, and that he exceeded expectations in NXT more than pretty much anyone, that he just never thought that his main roster run was going to go very well. But it didn't go well, and then he just decides to show up in the competition, in the competitor right away. I made the reference that he pulled a Ricochet. This felt like a move, like he left WWE to come to AEW because of how fast it happened. That's probably not the case. It was probably Tony Khan made him an offer that he couldn't refuse, and that Tony Khan is a huge fan of the independent scene and Ring of Honor of the 2000s and 2010s, and Tommaso Ciampa was a big part of the early 2010s of that promotion, and he was obviously a big fan also of Black and Gold NXT, and he's been a fixture in both of those. So Tony Khan made him the offer, and he comes in. But I feel like this is the one moment from last night's Dynamite that really elevated the show, where I really felt coming out of that show, I was like, this is the most focused, most inspired booking and like noteworthy episode of AEW Dynamite, not only of this year so far, and we're only 28, 29 days in, but it really felt like one of the better Dynamites in recent weeks, even with all the great matches that we got in the Continental Classic in December, as far as like the stories going on, and then having that one noteworthy moment that you're going to remember for a long time. This was it. This elevated the whole episode for me. And I'm so happy for Ciampa, who's one of the most talented guys in the ring, as a character, on the mic. He checks all the boxes. He is someone that I can see elevating himself and having a prominent position in AEW. If there's room for someone to catapult themselves signing with the company and being a fixture in the upper mid card to maybe even a fringe main eventer, or maybe an even legit main eventer, it is Tommaso Ciampa. So I'm happy for the move. He looked very like ecstatic and excited for this opportunity and the reception that he got. So really happy for this. What did you think?
I was surprised. I was very surprised that this happened. We talked about Ciampa leaving WWE, and I never know what these guys want. You know, like I didn't know if Ciampa wanted to go to New Japan. I didn't know if he wanted to just do an independent scene. I didn't know if he just wanted to maybe work some indies for a while and then thought he might work his way back to WWE, because I thought he was going to kind of be in WWE maybe for life with, you know, how close the relationship was with Triple H and everything. And like, yeah, his main roster run wasn't anything special, but he was there with Gargano. When the tag division actually was put some effort into, the tag division was good on SmackDown with those guys. And so I thought he was just going to kind of always be there. So I didn't know what he actually wanted. And I didn't know what AEW wanted. AEW has a big roster already. And so it's like, all right, well, where does he fit in with this? I don't love when people are like, oh, well, how do they fit all of these people in? Like, oh, they've already got too much talent and blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, that's true. And it can be difficult. And then it does lead to, oh, well, where's this person? Where's that person? Why isn't this person being used better? These are good problems to have. Like, you would want more talent than less talent, because you never know when people might need time off. You never know when people are going to get injured. You can always kind of like keep people fresh. Now, does Tony or anybody always do the best job at this? No. But it's because it's a difficult thing to do. I always say this when it comes to, you know, I'm a big EWR TEW person. I look at the roster and I'm like, oh man, I have all this talent. And then like I start playing and I'm like, oh shit, I'm not using this person at all. Oh, I could be doing something better with this person. Like, it's difficult. And this is with, again, a video game where these are not real humans. It's way more difficult when you're dealing with real humans with this stuff. And Tony comes from the TEW background. So he knows that the difficulties of this, and the fact that you know, it can be a challenge when it comes to this, but he also knows the importance of, like, you'd rather have more to play with, and not to use the term is because I know people like to be like, oh, they're just figures to Tony. You'd rather have more to use than less to use out there. People in 2021 when they were signing everybody, and it's like, oh, you got Punk and Danielson and Cole and Malachi and all these guys come in. It's like, how do you find a spot for them? And I'm like, oh, so you're telling me that I have a lot of talent and I have to figure out a way to use a lot of talent? Oh, woe is me. This sucks. Oh, no. Like, no, this is good. So
yeah.
You have the Rascals who just came in. Andrade just came back. We saw Ace Austin last night. He's relatively new, all things considered. And now you have Tommaso Ciampa in there. Like, yeah, they got a lot of talent. They got to figure out a way to use all the talent. It's a good problem to have. I'm glad Ciampa's there. I think he can be sort of almost what Mark Briscoe should be more of. And that's just sort of an up and down heel on the card, because I think he's a fantastic heel, and
Yeah.
using him as like an up and down heel, I think would be kind of the best spot for him. Now, will he be used like that? Don't know, because I think Mark Briscoe, up until more recently, at least the past year, I thought he was kind of misused as an up and down babyface. But then he did the feud with MJF. Now he's the TNT champion. Although I don't love you're facing like Don Callis family stuff, and this run doesn't feel great right now.
No.
But I think
I never thought he was gonna have like a long run either. Like that's why
he
that's
might
why
lose it on Saturday,
really
honestly.
I really feel like Ciampa should win. He should win the title
Yeah.
on Saturday. That's how you kind of make a statement of like saying, hey, we got him and we're going to use him. We're going to use him here. He's going to be TNT champion right off the bat. He's going to be in he's going to maybe a TNT open challenge like Mark Briscoe just introduced it or brought it back last night with the challenge that led to Ciampa's debut. And then Ciampa can be the one who basically, he didn't win the US Open challenge, but he's going to open up things for the TNT title open challenge.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if he loses the title, Mark Briscoe, on Saturday, and go ahead and make a statement with Ciampa and put the title on him. And yeah, I think he should be. You can establish it very quickly. He cheats to win. Oh, he's the heel. This guy sucks.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't get the, it's just a really good match and he wins, and then it's, oh, you deserve it chance and all that stuff. Like, nah, make him a heel, go from there with him. But I was very surprised to see him, very happy for him. Clearly it's what he wants, it's what AEW wants. I'm curious of how he will be used and how he will be presented. The presentation last night was very good, and now you gotta just keep going strong with that. So we'll see, but again, strong start with Tommaso Ciampa, and I think he's gonna kill it. I do. He's a very good promo. You give him the right character, the right motivation, the right alignment. Like, there's no reason why he can't have a strong run in AEW.
Yeah, I think that he could be like this year's Ricochet. Ricochet is someone who necessarily he doesn't have like a much higher position than he had in WWE, but he's able to do what he kind of wants to do and play the character that he always wanted to play, and play more of a character than he ever was in WWE. And I think for Ciampa, he gets to be kind of the single star, maybe in the mid card to upper mid card that he really wanted to be in WWE. But they just didn't use him enough, and I think that it's a good spot for him. He seems like the type that's going to be very motivated to kind of make a statement and have a signature run in AEW. So I'm happy for him. This is the opportunity that he's probably been looking for, and I think he's a great piece to have for AEW, especially in the mid card to upper mid card scene.
You know why he really got signed, right? It's because he's bald. And Tony Khan has got to get all the bald wrestlers. And he's going to join the Don Callis family.
Oh,
because
God,
Don
no.
Callis has to have all of the bald wrestlers as well. That's what's going to happen. He's got to have the bald guys. I was mad that
he said he needs the best Mexican wrestlers, the best Australian wrestlers, and the best bald wrestlers.
Yeah, he's got to have the best balds. I hope he doesn't go to unless ROH is gonna like be presented as a bigger thing. Like, I hope Ciampa's not gonna be moved off to ROH or anything.
And unless ROH gets a TV deal, I don't want to see him in ROH. I think
even
that he's better suited in like the TNT title scene, honestly.
Yeah, even if they get a TV deal, like, what is that TV deal? If they're on like True TV on Sunday nights or whatever, like, that's still not really an upgrade. Like, it's
Tubi,
better. Yeah.
Everybody on Tubi. Couldn't get a
That's not-
comedy special on Netflix or Tubi.
It's not like a full on upgrade depending on what the TV deal is, because I still don't know if it's gonna be put like any care into it. The best thing they use ROH for is they're like, oh, this person's undefeated in ROH, and all that means is when you're on AEW, you're about to lose. That's all that means.
Yeah, the best thing they do with ROH is heat someone up to be a figure on AEW television. Kyle Fletcher, Bandito, Mark
Ace Austin
Briscoe.
last night. Ace Austin, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
he's won like 4 straight on ROH. He's undefeated, and it's like, oh yeah, he's just losing to John Moxley, buddy. Good luck, have fun.
I thought it was a good match. I thought the Briscoe and El Clone match was very good. I don't know how I feel about the J Driller spot. I thought they could have explained that better. That he kind of vaulted off of his hands when he let go of his hands for the J Driller, and he kind of blocked it instead of it looking like he just no-selled Mark Briscoe's like death nail, the ultimate finisher that he uses to finish off everybody, and then the roll up for the win was kind of stupid. But other than that, I thought it was a very good matchup. Another strong showing for El Clone, but for Ace Austin, I think like he's probably better off. Like he's a guy that I think he can be in the position of like a Kyle Fletcher from 2-3 years ago, where you build him up on ROH. He wins like an ROH TV championship, or even maybe the world championship if you really want to heat him up in a big way. And then you can have a role for him on AEW television.
I didn't love the Ace Austin John Moxley match. Honestly, I thought it was the weakest match on the show. There was some stuff that I'm not counting Kenny and Rocky in that, because that, I mean, look, that was great for a little 3-minute.
That was a perfect squash match.
Yeah. That was too long, honestly.
You got a memorable viral spot out of that with Rocky doing and then Kenny just clobbering him with the knee to the back of the head. And I mean, the Chris Statlander and Tekla, they over delivered. Oh yeah. Man, that was great.
Yes. And Moxley beat Ace Austin, not unsurprising. It feels like Ace Austin, like, remember the trios titles? Why aren't Juice, Ace, and Austin going after those?
Like, Juice is injured.
Yeah, he is injured again, isn't he? They did announce that. They said he wasn't cleared. Fine, put Austin.
I've had to comment on different videos because people were so confused about Billy Gunn being on their show. And I had to comment on like different videos, like, guys, commentary did say that
I've had a banner.
There was travel issue and Ace Austin couldn't make it. It was supposed to be Ace Austin in the matchup. Like when AEW doesn't explain these type of things, yes, it is all we are supposed to clobber them over the head of why you're not explaining these type of things. But they at least went through the trouble of explaining why it was Billy Gunn and Austin Gunn and not Ace Austin. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and I'll defend them when it comes to that.
Yeah, they did explain why Billy Gunn was there. Look, I'm all for Billy Gunn being there regardless. I don't need an explanation. Just bring out Billy Gunn. I think he should have pinned both Fletcher and Takeshita. Should have just stacked them, but whatever. They did explain it. I just completely blanked on Juice being injured. Well, one, I hope he's not out too long. And two, when he does come back, like, they should be in the trios stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Because otherwise, Austin Gunn is kind of wherever, and Ace Austin, he's mainly in ROH. Like, you guys should actually be a group, because remember when you guys got put together like 3 months ago and have teamed like twice since then. I
don't even remember them having a trios
I don't even know
match,
if they have had a trios match,
yeah.
Honestly.
I don't think they really had one, because the Juice and Austin were feuding with the FTR at the same time. They were getting ready for the 2 tag team title matches that they got. So they haven't really been able to even do trios matches like that. And now Juice is injured. So
yeah,
sucks.
After the Ace Austin and John Moxley match, Davis and Doyle attacked John Moxley, and that set up later in the night when FTR faced Davis and Doyle. Moxley got involved and cost Davis and Doyle that match. A couple things off of this, and then I'll let you go into the breakdown. One, I hope Jake Doyle is okay. It did seem like it was a torn bicep. That is what cameras kind of caught him saying. That sucks if that is true, because this tag team ruled, and they were just kind of
if you give that like 5 more minutes and he doesn't get injured, that was going to be a great match. That was on the verge. They were awesome in the first portion of that matchup, and they chopped the crap out of Dax to the point he started bleeding. Oh my god, that was great.
That was my other kind of points on this is I thought it was a really good match. It also felt like it didn't quite. It felt like it was between second and third gear, where they definitely had another gear, maybe even another 2 gears before the finish. Unfortunately, with any type of interference finish, it's gonna hurt it a little bit. And it was only like a 10-minute match, which you expect a little bit more out of a tag team title match to this level. And I do think that. I don't know if they changed the finish because of the injury.
Oh, they
I'm
definitely
not sure.
did. You didn't peep that? I peeped it 100%. When Doyle got injured, I automatically saw it. I immediately saw that he was injured. He did the DDT, and I just saw him grab his arm and yell out. I didn't exactly hear him say, I just tore my bicep and needed like the replay to hear that. But once they got into the ring and it was Davis and the 2 members of FTR, I just saw the referee just kept talking. He kept talking to one. He would go to the other, talk to the other, and it was obvious that they were like, let's go to the finish. And like he probably had to say something in his earpiece for the Death Riders to come out early.
Okay, so my point is, like, maybe they did the finish early. I don't know if they changed the finish as was Moxley going to interfere and cause a DQ because they were going to set up a rematch at Grand Slam, and so they changed it to Moxley just cost them the match because they're not going to be able to do a rematch. That was my thing of like, did they change that portion of the finish? Yes, I do think they went home early because it was a 10-minute match, and I don't think they only blocked off 10 minutes for this match. And it was very clear that Doyle was hurt and that they cut out a portion of things because he was hurt and they couldn't do anything. So yeah, I do agree, and it was very noticeable that it looked like they went home a little early. Was the overall finish changed because of that, or was this the original intended finish and they just did it early because maybe they were going to do Davis and Doyle against Moxley and Claudio in Australia? Like, was that going to be the potential plan? But again, as far as this match goes, it felt like they had a much better match in them. And I said yesterday I wouldn't have been shocked if they did some type of DQ finish or no contest or time limit draw to set up a rematch in Australia, or some type of like FTR cheats to do like a street fight or something because they love street fights, to do that in Australia. It might have been they were going to set up Davis and Doyle against Death Riders in some type of street fight or some type of match in Australia off of this. But I just don't know if the overall finish got changed besides they did it early.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that happened because they were having a hard-hitting banger. I was really enjoying it the first half of the matchup, especially them catching Cash Wheeler and throwing him into Dax Harwood. Yeah. That was awesome. I just love them just being an old school bully big man tag team. Like, we don't have a lot of them in AEW right now, and they work great together. And I've seen some people talk about, like, is Mark Davis jinx? Because every time they try to pair him with a tag team partner, it's either he goes out and he's injured and the person, breaks out as a single star, or he is about to team up with somebody and they get injured. It really sucks that Mark Davis keeps having these kind of start-stop pushes with different tag team partners. They want to put him in a tag team because he is a tag team specialist throughout his entire career. So it is wild that once again this happens, and it happens for Jake Doyle, who just came to AEW, and this is like horrible timing. Like, the worst thing that can happen to you on an AEW roster is you just get signed and they're gonna push you and then you get injured, because sometimes you don't find your spot back when you become healthy again. It's kind of scary.
I think we got to look into the Don Callis family medical team because they got a lot of injuries when they join the Don Callis.
Page,
Wardlow. Yeah, they get some injuries on the Don Callis family. I wonder if the medical team there, they employ the Sixers medical team. Is that what's happening here? Like, maybe. What's going on? So we got to look into that. And we do have.
We also didn't mention that Takeshita came out and confronted Jon Moxley after his win
Yeah.
over Ace Austin, signaling what I've been calling since after World's End pay-per-view. I was like, Takeshita needs to be the one who faces Moxley at Revolution. Hopefully they're holding on to that, because I saw some people think that they were going to do Moxley and Takeshita in Australia, which I think is too soon. You need to kind of build it up, and it need Takeshita to win that, because this storyline and it being dragged out and him still being in the Don Callis family isn't the best thing for his character, because he either is coming off like a passive idiot or a straight up dweeb who's just being strung along and looking like he's disappointed in Kyle Fletcher. I am glad that they finally followed up, and what we've been talking about for like a month now, Jeremy, of them not following up on the Don Callis family storyline that came off of AEW World's End. After a month, they finally decided to follow up on it on this episode.
Speaking of storylines that have gone on way too long, this is a nitpick from the show. It's not a nitpick. I don't think I'm actually nitpicking. This is a full-on complaint. I'll get into more good stuff later. Why is Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta like doing anything together?
I honestly, I'll be honest with you, I did not care about that. I just is like, why are y'all doing this to Timeless Tony Storm? Like y'all, I know Tony had to see Dave and Brian talking about where like the downfall for Timeless Tony Storm, of how she was one of the biggest stars in the company less than like 4 months ago, and now you've been having her kind of just doing nothing in an aimless feud in the mid card for the last like 2-3 months. It's not helping her. We need to have Tony in a more prominent position. So they're setting up another mixed tag team matchup, it seems, with Tony and Orange Cassidy versus Marina Shafir and Wheeler Yuta. But I am kind of over I'm like, do you just had the Death Riders play baby faces last week?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, and we've talked about the kind of imbalance on the Death Riders of like, are they baby faces or are they heels? Because in some stories they're baby faces, and then you have here with Wheeler and Marina against Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy. Well, they're clearly the heels on this. Which, okay, my bigger issue is like, why are we doing Wheeler Yuta and Orange Cassidy more? What is this? What are we doing this for? I don't mind the pairing between Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy, because like Tony Storm can't be in the world title picture the entire time. Maybe she should be, but I understand that you can't have her in there the whole time.
You can still put her in something that feels more important than this.
Yeah, and again, I don't mind if you want to pair her with Orange Cassidy and do something important with them, something that feels bigger than this. Okay. Wheeler Yuta is who he is at this point. They have told you this dude just loses all the big matches and he just gets beat as a member of the Death Riders. Marina doesn't have singles matches. She mainly is just, she'll do the mixed tag stuff, and then she has a good look, she has a good presentation, but she doesn't really have a ton of singles matches. So this is who like you're pairing them up against. There just isn't a whole lot there for me. And then Tony.
I'm sorry. The Marina for Shafir versus Tony Storm matchup kind of clocked me out of.
Oh yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, Marina and Tony feud. I don't think this is good use of Tony Storm. Using Tony Storm's popularity and star power to boost up Marina Shafir, I don't think it's the move right now. It's not a good move.
Then they did the flowers thing with Mina on Collision a couple of weeks ago, and they made it seem like it was a thing. And then Marina is just like, I'll send your girlfriend more flowers. And I guess that was the conclusion the mystery flower gimmick.
I had to like run it back. I was like, are they saying that it was Marina who sent it? So they just blew that off? That story altogether? Okay.
I just don't need more Orange Cassidy and Wheeler Yuta. I don't. This has been going on since Yuta joined the Death Riders. Stop
since
it.
Yuta joined the BCC.
Yeah, I was equating Death Riders with BCC since.
Hello.
You're gonna fail, Dada.
Oh damn! She just said you're a failure.
The puzzle.
You're gonna fail on the puzzle. You said hi to Jeremy.
Hi, Harlem.
I guess I'm gonna
can't put a-
fail. on the
Yeah, you
puzzle.
can't put a puzzle together, SP3? What the fuck?
Apparently.
She just came in just like immediately. She's like, you're gonna fail. Like, damn. Didn't even get a chance over here.
That's how
What the
your
hell?
kids talk to you nowadays. it seems.
Yeah. The opening match sorry, my wife was messaging something. The opening match, as we kind of mentioned, Kenny Omega defeating Rocky Romero. This match was too long. It should have been 30 seconds. But I did appreciate that it was actually like a squash and it was not, hey, let's go out and have like a 7-minute banger and everything. Like, no, we don't need that. Rocky Romero is who he is. He can lose in 3 minutes. No one's gonna think differently of him.
Oh, you gave me a burger? Thank you.
Oh.
Gave me a McDonald's burger, a cold one.
Was it? Oh, a cold one.
Yeah, it's a cold McDonald's burger. It's probably right out the fridge. I'm just making sure it's an actual burger. It's not one of her Harlem sandwiches.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that got some special stuff on it? I don't mean like that. I mean what was it? Barbecue sauce, mayo, cheese. That's what she had on the last one.
Yeah. And then you tried it out yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Like barbecue sauce can fix a lot of things, honestly.
Yeah, barbecue sauce is the key factor of what made it all right.
Yeah. But Kenny defeated Rocky very quickly. The match was exactly what it should have been. And then afterwards, Kenny again made his intentions clear. He's going after the title. Well, they did the old Tony Schiavone thing of like, it's a contender series and like, here's the contenders. But we don't like have a real explanation for it. There's no point system. There's no tournament formats.
He did start off the explanation like it was like the Continental Classic. He was like, you evened the score with the rest of the contenders. So what we're gonna do?
But who's in this thing? He didn't beat anybody important.
Exactly. Barely. It's just getting. And barely they have like the ranking system back, and he was just like, "You got 2 wins. This guy's got 2 wins. It's Samoa Joe. It's Andrade Alidolo. It's Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page, and it's gonna come down to two at Grand Slam Australia 1-on-1. Will determine the winner who will go on to face MJF for the AEW World Championship at Revolution." I was just like, Tony, you did not explain that very well at all.
No. Then I really didn't think, Joe's apparently hurt with a non-contact injury, so that's unhelpful. Yeah. I saw people thinking it was going to be like a 5-way match at Grand Slam. Like that was their takeaway.
No. He did. I will give, this is why I'm going to give Tony Schiavone some credit after I already slandered him. But he did say it is going to be a one-on-one matchup at Australia. I don't think it's going to wind up being a one-on-one matchup. We'll get into that later, but he did say it is going to be a one-on-one matchup in Australia.
No, he did. I caught that. But again, people's takeaway was like, oh, they're all going to battle at Australia. And I was like, well, maybe you didn't listen, but I also put blame on Tony Schiavone that it was not poorly, or that it was poorly explained. And then I thought it got more confusing because we have Swerve and Andrade in the main event, and then Schiavone's like, well, the winner is going to face Kenny next week. I'm like, well, what is Hangman doing? Hangman is part of this Contender series.
It's like
he's only faced Shibata.
Hangman's quality of wins against Shibata and Brian Keith is the reason why he gets to move on to Australia because Samoa Joe is injured, so he gets a bye. They were setting up Samoa Joe versus Hangman Adam Page, so I will give them credit on that. It was obvious that they were setting up another singles matchup between those two, but apparently he's the number 1 seed. He gets to move on with a bye to Australia, where he will face the winner of Kenny versus Andrade now.
Is it Hangman versus the winner of Kenny versus Andrade? Are we sure?
Yeah, because Swerve's out of it. Swerve got beat.
If I'm Swerve, I'm like, Hangman ain't fucking beating anybody. Let me face Hangman. If I beat him.
Yeah, let me face Hangman.
Like, what the hell? It was It was not well explained. That's why I wrote that it was complicated. I don't actually think like it's super complicated. I just don't think like it's fleshed out because it's not convoluted or anything.
Yeah, I think a better description was poorly explained Contender Series.
Yeah, well, I like complicated championship contenders because alliteration instead of poorly explained. It wasn't explained very well, and then Hangman comes out. He says, I'll beat anybody to get the title. And Swerve comes out and he says, I'll beat anybody to get the title. I think it was fine as like establishing type of things. And then Don Callis comes out, and I didn't know if he lost his gum or his teeth or built up spit. I was like,
does he have like a swollen tongue or something? Why is he talking like that? He sounded like Moxley with the swollen lip when he cut his promo at World's End.
I was like, what are you doing here? It's on. And Don was, of course, like, you guys got your bigger problems here. And he's like, I got something for you, Hangman. I was like, oh, fuck, Hangman's just got to beat Lance Archer and he gets into the finals here. That's all he has to do. I was like, that's not a big victory, but sure, beat Lance Archer. I think Okada should be in this thing, or Fletcher at the very least. Like, get one of these guys.
Okada's already a champion. Remember what Callis also explained? He gave a Don Callis family state of address later on in the show and said at which title every member of the main members are going after a championship gold. So I did appreciate that as well. This was a night of giving some direction to people that have kind of been just having great matches and just kind of loosey-goosey on television. They gave them some direction. I think that the AEW World Championship picture is probably the most interesting thing going on in AEW right now, because it creates so many different conversations for different matchups that we can get to the number one contender and different matchups for MJF in his reign. But it needed some kind of like direction of how we're figuring out who's out of all these contenders is getting the next shot at Max at the next pay-per-view Revolution. And they did do that here with the opening segment and setting stuff up. And I loved the tension between Swerve Strickland and Kenny Omega. Like the opening segment got me very excited for a potential Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland matchup. But I was like, this match is way too big to do next week. Like, it's way too big to do. As soon as they were teasing the tension, I was like, okay, I might be getting what I want, because I'm the guy who posted. I got a lot of responses as well. People like, oh, why do you like Andrade? We can't trust him. We can't trust Andrade. Oh, you like Andrade because he does cool moves. No, I like Andrade because he looks like a star. He acts like a star, and he is a full-on aura farmer. He's an aura farming Lothario in the best way possible, and also he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he showcased that last night. But I was very happy with the tension that was shown between Swerve and Omega, because it made me feel like, okay, they're driving this home way too much. This is not happening next week. That's what made me very confident after that first segment.
On the whole, like, oh, you can't trust Andrade thing, like, do I agree in a bigger picture sense? Yes. But he's there right now, so you might as well use him and get as much out of him as you can right now.
What are we talking about? Like, yeah, we can't trust him. We can't trust him as far as we're gonna throw him, but at least let him do something for now. Let's try to keep him happy. Let's not book him to the point that he's gonna be leaving again, like he was last time, or like he was with WWE. Let's actually use him to his fullest extent, to his fullest capability. And I think right now, with this whole aura forming Lothario character, he's got something that's working for him. It worked like gangbusters on Collision. He was one of the more notable parts of a kind of non-noteworthy episode of Collision last Saturday, and then he was great in the main event. Him and Swerve had instant chemistry with one another from the opening, kind of them doing Hurricane Radas and different holds and flipping out of it and just showing that chemistry. And then it got more hard hitting as the match went on. The back body drop on the barricade was gruesome. Then the different reversals and counters towards the end, the avalanche poison Rana into the running knees in the corner. I was like, okay, Andrade is balling. I was like, he don't even need to take off his pants, even though the fans were chanting, take off your pants, take your pants off, take your pants off. it was kind of harassment. I want to call out the people in Texas. They were kind of harassing my guy Andrade. Me and Andrade are good friends. I don't know if you knew that. He knows I'm a part of the Don Callis family. That's why he answered my reply last week. But he told me he did that was the sign that yes, you're gonna get your Kenny Omega versus Andrade matchup that you wanted so bad, SP3. Thank you, Andrade. I'm glad we're friends. I'm glad we're friends, sir.
It was a fantastic match. I thought Andrade was going to win, especially after they mentioned the winner was going to face Kenny, because the Kenny and Andrade stuff from months ago on that. And as you said, like they were teasing Swerve and Kenny so much that it didn't feel like it was going to be not necessarily a 1 week build, but kind of almost a hot shot of like, nah, this feels bigger than let's just do this match on Dynamite. This feels like you can put this on Revolution or, a much bigger show out here. So, and I'm happy Andrade won because it's a little bit fresher than I like Swerve. I have nothing against Swerve, but Swerve's been in the title picture for a while. Andrade's new and is a fresh face there, and Kenny and Andrade makes a lot of sense. I know we saw it in AAA, different performers at those times. I don't think Ric Flair will be getting involved in this match, which is automatically going to make it a million times better.
And also, it's not duct tape Omega. I call that Omega. That's duct tape stuck together by duct tape and chewing gum Omega, and kind of close to on the verge of getting frustrated Andrade. So it was a recipe for disaster, including with Ric Flair. So I expect the matchup next week to be much better. But I do have a hot take. This is my hot take. Just seeing the dynamic between Swerve and Omega last night, it just made it clear to me, because me and Jimmy been talking about this for weeks. Jimmy hates Swerve as a babyface. He thinks that Swerve doesn't work as a babyface, and I'm willing to say that he's probably right. Swerve is much. I won't say that Swerve doesn't work as a babyface, because I think he is a good babyface, but he's just so much better when he's interacting with another babyface, and he gets to play the heel. He gets to play more of the more aggressive or cocky, more of like the tweener of the situation, tweener or heel to an opposite babyface. It just hits way better than when he's interacting with another heel. It just hits better. It's a much better dynamic. He comes off as a much more interesting character when he has to play the heel against another babyface.
Oh, he's much better as a heel. He's part of that is, he touts himself as the most dangerous. I mean, it's literally in his damn song, most dangerous. Yeah. So if you're going to tout yourself as most dangerous, that's kind of a heelish thing anyway. What's a dangerous babyface going to do? Like, if you're the most dangerous heel, you're willing to go to lengths of stabbing people with glass and syringes and all of this stuff. Like, you're willing to go to those lengths. Like, a dangerous babyface, like, isn't willing, or shouldn't be, for the most part, willing to do those things. And if they are, they're probably a heel. Like, a babyface is not going to be cutting off fingers. Remember he did that to Billy Gunn? That was a thing. That was legitimately a thing that happened on that television show.
He did do that. That was when he first turned heel in AEW, too.
Yeah. Like, those things, like, those aren't babyface moves. Those are dangerous things, but those are heel things. And yeah, he's much better being kind of like that cocky, like, I'm better than you type of guy who almost talks down to people. Like the Kevin Knight stuff, when he's interacting with Kevin Knight, like, there was some dickish heel tendencies in there, but he still has to kind of play a little bit of a babyface there. But he's much better as a heel. And I also think part of that is, like, Omega's better as a babyface and Hangman's better as a babyface. So Swerve looks worse in comparison to them as a babyface because they are just better babyfaces and you can't play off of them as well. So yeah. That's part of it too. Speaking of babyfaces and heels, real quickly, MJF and Brody King, they set up a match, an eliminator match next week, and then the winner, or if Brody King wins, he'll get the title shot at Grand Slam Australia. I thought the promo by MJF was really good. Get no kind of like low-hanging, easy lines out there. He even got Brody King to laugh at the liberal who looks like a Nazi line. But I thought it was good of, like, you're a follower. Like, again, this is real, actual substance of character that you can play off of, and not just you look like a Nazi and, you know, go whatever. I'm not going to make any other type of references there. But yeah, like that was a funny little line. It wasn't the whole crux of the promo. The whole crux of the promo was you are a follower. And that was good stuff because, again, that's playing off the history of Brody King kind of being a follower. So I thought that was really good. I enjoyed MJF's promo off of that. And then Brody coming back and saying, I talked to Tony Khan. This is where it's like, just go talk to Tony. Apparently you don't need to even do Contender Series. Go talk to Tony.
You don't need to be
get yourself an eliminator match.
Sit down with Tony Khan and you explain to him, I've been beating all these people. I've been beating chumps that you've been throwing at me. Who can I face to get the quickest title match possible before all these other dorks fight for a title opportunity at Australia? How can I get the title shot at Australia? He was like, just beat MJF. He's like, done. Deal.
Yeah.
Deal. I'll go tell him. I'll listen to him cutting me down for 5 minutes, and then I'll just make him look so shook by the end of the promo. And I thought Brody King came off well in his response. He's not going to be at the same level of MJF. MJF is like an all-timer on the mic, but like Brody King, he held his own and he got across the message very well. This was a good segment to set up another big matchup for next week. Like that's the thing about, like, I thought that's last night's episode was so good, is that it was a good episode in a vacuum on its own, but it also set up things for next week on Dynamite, for Collision, for Grand Slam Australia, and even for Revolution. This was the most effective episode of AEW television so far in 2026.
What was your moment of Wednesday, SP3?
My moment of Wednesday, it's either Kenny Omega giving a V trigger to Rocky Romero after he slid into the front of the camera, MJF calling Brody King a liberal that looks like a Nazi, or Andrade, the ultimate aura farming Lothario. It's one of those. I'll go with Andrade being the ultimate aura farming Lothario with another plant that he took a selfie with and got a number from. That was great.
It was Jasmine Allure who he took the selfie with. I hope that's just his, I mean, it seems like it's his full on gimmick now. Is he's just like collecting numbers and stuff. And one day Don Callis is gonna find him back there with just like 300 women around him.
And Don Callis being sexually ambiguous and getting excited about Andrade taking his pants off. That was awesome. He was awesome on commentary.
My moments of Wednesday, I could go with Tommaso Ciampa, which easy one there. Ciampa debuting. I'm going to show some love to Statlander and Thekla, because I don't think we had too high of hopes for this match. It was a little, I don't say underbuilt, but people thought this. Some people in our chat yesterday was like, "Well, this should be the main event. It's for the women's world title." I was like, "This just does not feel like a main event match." I understand, okay, women's world title, but I don't feel like you could rightfully close the show with Statlander and Thekla, and people would be like, "Yeah, this is the true main event." And I still think Swerve and Andrade was the right call to main event. But they really delivered in this match. And I know people were like down on Thekla when entering. I'm not gonna lie and say like I was super familiar with her work coming out of Stardom. She's been great as a television character.
This was her best performance, though, I will say.
And Statlander's always been good in the ring. Like, as much as I'm not a fan of her promos and this title reign has been like once the bell rings, she's top tier. And this match was excellent. So shout out to Statlander and Thekla for delivering a very strong match. The crowd reaction was it seemed like they almost willed a Thekla title change there with this.
They really wanted it.
Yeah, I was like, they might have to call an audible here because they're getting close. Didn't have a poll question for today. That's on me, everybody. For those who don't understand the banner reference, go to Dave Meltzer's Twitter. I just think it's funny. See who
another one of my friends, Dave Meltzer, quote tweeted me yesterday.
Oh, did you get buried?
No.
Okay.
He agreed with me because I quote tweeted what was it called? The AJ Styles burner account that said one of the really unappreciated things about WWE is that their ring style allows these wrestlers to wrestle late into their careers. And I was just like, it's kind of weird that you say that. It's probably unappreciated because New Japan and CMLL are places where it has a stronger in-ring style, a better in-ring style subjectively, but it has people that are wrestling into their 50s, like Tomohiro Ishii, who just had a 5-star matchup, and Blue Panther in 60 years old, one of the greatest 60-year-old wrestlers you ever seen. So that's probably why it's unappreciated with WWE, and especially because he had a picture of Rey Mysterio, CM Punk. He had a whole bunch of people that get injured all the time. I was like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah, people always say that, like wrestlers, not people, like wrestlers are people, but wrestlers always say this, allegedly. Wrestlers always say, like, you actually get hurt less when you wrestle more because then your body just gets more used to it with everything. And, you know, when you wrestle less, it's like, oh, I'm not used to that movement. And then you get a bunch of injuries when it comes to that. So, or you have the Don Callis family medical staff, and that's part of the issue as well. But yeah, the banner is something from Dave said that I thought was hilarious, and then see who he said it to, who he was replying to with it, makes it so much funnier. So,
I'm gonna look this up now.
Yeah, you go. It's not too far down. I don't think he's been super active today, but yeah, if you go to Dave's Twitter and look and see what this is about, you can maybe you'll think it's funny too. All right, SP3, what did we accomplish today?
We accomplished a lot today. We talked to the great Court BAUER, where he had the greatest revelation in the history of In the Weeds, that Vince McMahon watching Onita in FMW created the Punjabi prison match. We also got some information about Brock Lesnar, supposedly supposed to return back in 2006. So a great conversation with Court BAUER. Check out Battle Riot next week. We also talked about the NBA trade deadline and where Giannis Antetokounmpo can possibly go, which led to me shooting on ESPN and the fact that a lot of our chat listened to Shannon Sharp and Colin Cowherd for some reason for their basketball news and info. And we talked about what was one of the most focused and inspiredly booked episodes of AEW Dynamite in recent memory. So very good episode today. I do have best matches as well, if you want.
Oh, okay. I was trying not to keep you too long, but we can do.
No worries. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
But what did we accomplish today?
I think the biggest thing we accomplished today is that SP3 hates ESPN, and we could not get Court BAUER to confirm or deny that Giannis Antetokounmpo would be part of the Battle Riot. But we tried. We did try. Hunks.
We did try. Yes.
All right. What are your best matches for the week?
All right. My best matches since last Thursday. I got honorable mention this week for Claudio Castagnoli versus Roderick Strong from AEW Collision. I thought that was a really good matchup. Really underrated. Not a lot of people was talking about it. Not a lot of people watch Collision, but I did, and I thought it was a really good matchup. The limb work on the leg was very well sound and very logical with the way that their last matchup went, so I thought that was really good. But that's an honorable mention. Number 5 from WWE Saturday Night's main event, Rio versus Judgment Day. I gave that 4 stars. Really hot opener to that show. The crowd was into everything, and I thought that was a match that really over-delivered. Coming in at number 4, though, is a match that I think over-delivered just slightly more than that, and it's the aforementioned Chris Statlander versus Tekla. I totally agree with the chat. The AEW Women's Division deserves so much more because every time the bell rings, it doesn't matter how they built to these matches, they always over-deliver, and that's been kind of the theme of Chris Statlander's title reign, where she hasn't got that much story, but every time the bell rings, she's shown out and had a banger, and this was Tekla's best match in AEW, so I gave that 4 stars as well. We jump it up a little bit to number 3 from the Marigold 15th anniversary, Mayu Iwatani versus Utami Hayashishita. That was an excellent matchup. Go out of your way to watch that one. Two of the best women's wrestlers in the world. Hard hitting, very emotional, a lot of drama down the stretch with Mayu picking up the win to retain the GHC Women's Championship. I gave that 4.5 stars. Number 2 from last night's Dynamite, Andrade El Idolo versus Swerve Strickland. Fantastic matchup between two of the best wrestlers in the world today. I gave that 4.5 stars. But number 1, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura from Saturday night's main event. I gave that 4.5 stars. The best WWE match of the year so far. Slightly better than CM Punk versus Finn Balor, which I said also was the best WWE match, but it only lasted a few days. Styles and Nakamura turning back the clock and delivering arguably their best WWE match out of 8 times they faced in that company. It had great storytelling, great callbacks to the Wrestle Kingdom matchup, and a all-timer AJ Styles performance that is like, why is this guy retiring in a week? That's how I felt coming out of that.
Austin Theory and Rey Mysterio robbed of one of the top spots.
I'm sorry, Ace. You might have not joined us for the Wheaties Awards, but we retired the C-suite. The C-suite has been retired. I gave the keys to Kimmy Sokol, and she still hasn't opened it up. She's doing renovations.
I'm trading Kimmy she's part of the Giannis trade. We're in talks to acquire Giannis. I'm offering Kimmy and Joel, which is about equal to the Warriors' offer of Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga, honestly. I mean, at least Kimmy and Joel are healthy.
Who's Jimmy Butler? Who's Jonathan Kuminga out of those two?
Y'all can decide that for yourself. Joel is Jimmy Butler, just a veteran who complains about everything. And Kimmy is Jonathan Kuminga, high upside, but I refuse to play her.
Fair. That is fair. You're Steve Kerr. That's true.
Matthew Hooks did leave a super chat. Says, was that Dynamite? Good show. Wish one title had changed. I hope you had fun. Matthew says, good show. So glad you had fun at the show. And yeah, the crowd tried to will that Thekla title change. Didn't happen, but they were trying.
That discus clothesline, her matrixing out of that was awesome. It was awesome. Her doing the spider pose out of the discus clothesline. I was like, oh, give her the title right now. Have her hit the spear, curve stomp, 1, 2, 3. Oh man, that would have been awesome.
I did like that Statlander. She went for the spear and Statlander's just like, nah, I'm about to little sister you and pick you up. Sorry, girl.
But I did like her hitting the Babe with the powerbomb. That was dope.
Yeah.
That was dope. I was like, oh, that's dope. She hit the Babe with the powerbomb into the Saturday Night Fever. Great match.
All right, folks. We'll be back tomorrow. The final day before the Royal Rumble. We will draw for the ITW Rumble. We have all 30 spots filled, but you can still get in a free entry. Only tomorrow are your free entries. People want to say it one more time, everybody, and then I'll let you plug everything. SP3.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. The MVP of the NBA. Yeah, I'm not making this up. For AEW Rampage, ladies and gentlemen, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let's go.
Let everybody know where they can find. Let everybody know where they can find you at SP3.
You can find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be live in about 45 minutes with Jimmy Macaram for AE Ramble, the best and longest running AEW Dynamite review in the land. We'll be talking about last night's AEW Dynamite. And this is a spoiler. This might be a spoiler, but I think Jimmy actually enjoyed the show. Oh. He enjoyed the show. He's not all part of the show, but he enjoyed the show. So we could hear some positivity from Jimmy Macaram after his complete crash out and irrepressible comments from last week. He might redeem himself this week with some positivity on the show. So join us live at 1:05 p.m. Eastern time over on the True Hill Heat Wrestling YouTube channel for AE Ramble. We'll be breaking down last night's Dynamite, talking about the world title contender series and everything else in between. So join us live for that. Also got dropping tomorrow our WWE Royal Rumble preview. It's going to be pre-recorded, not live, because SmackDown wants to come on at like 12 p.m. Eastern times. So I'll be covering that for Sports Illustrated. So I had the pre-record with Maggie, our Royal Rumble prediction. So join us for that. That's going to be live on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel on Friday. And then Saturday will be the Royal Rumble pre-show at 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the True Hill Heat flagship podcast with myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and special guest Alex McCarthy, Jeremy Lambert's favorite person in the world, and Sat E. Niangi, his other.
That's my true favorite person in the world. Yeah, I do love Sat. Boo, Alex McCarthy. He sucks. Appreciate you as always, SP3. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Myself and Joel. Hopefully not talking about TNA, but I don't know what else we're going to talk about if it's not TNA. Until then, thank you everyone for the love, the support. I'll talk to y'all later on. Bye, everyone.